week, now they envy me. I just put on work, ain't no quitting me. No, no, no.
What's going on, everybody? This is MVP, Most Valued Podcast, a podcast embracing the American football culture. I'm Terrence Owens, a.k.a. T.O., and this is the Ville edition. I had to hit you up first on the strength. You know, you the GOAT, bro. You the GOAT to me, so I had to hit you up.
Yeah, well, I don't want to say the GOAT, but you know, you did a little something.
You got to let me say the GOAT. You don't say it, let me say it.
For sure. I appreciate that though.
Yeah, but I'm
definitely appreciate that acknowledgement.
Let's just talk straight about, like, just to get right into it. You know, from the Ville, like, at what moment did you know that you was going to the Ville? Like, you know, we played for the, Glenville A's and the Titans. Like, did you know that you was automatically going to the Ville, or like what was that thought process for you?
Well, yeah, that I think it was embedded in me growing up. You know, just because I grew up on 118th for St. Clair. The Glenville is on 113th for St. Clair. So just walking around the neighborhood and being a part of the culture young, I just knew that's where I was going to be. And then actually, coming up in middle school, actually going to games. I had a big cousin that played football and basketball at the Ville.
Okay.
So being a part of those games and that culture, it was like it was a no-brainer.
Okay, yeah, that was the same for me. Just growing up, being able to watch the Ville practices. I seen you, practicing out there. Just seeing everybody practice out there. I knew I was going to the Ville just because, again, we in that neighborhood. So yeah, that was a no-brainer as well.
Right, and also just playing at PH. We played for Glenville A's and Glenville Titans. We played at PH, and the high school would be right there next to us practicing.
Exactly.
We have all type of coaches coming down to recruit us, like Benedictus, St. Ed. All these coaches are at our games, and everybody's getting cards and everything. And I used to tell them literally, like, I'm going to Glenville. There's no point in y'all even talking to me. I'm going to Glenville, yeah.
Right.
Without nobody even telling me, like, this is where you go. I'm like, no, I'm going to Glenville. Y'all can save it.
I got you. Yeah, I got you. Hey, that was the same with me. I don't even think I got recruited to even go play at AS or nothing. I wasn't even thinking about it. I just knew where I was going to go.
Right. Sure. Yeah, that was what we was doing, bro. Because football was us. Football was our coach. Football is what we did.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Football, baseball, basketball, it was sports.
Right.
So, Glenville had a culture of sports that was crazy, even though they wasn't even, like, when we was coming up, the greatest. But it was a culture about everything that was going on. We was like, no, we're going to Glenville. I don't care what's going on.
Exactly. So
yeah.
real quick, when were you introduced to Coach Ginn? Because he was always around the neighborhood. We've been around the practices. When did you first meet Coach Ginn?
See, I would say in high school, really. I never really talked to Ginn coming up as far as middle school and all of that. When I was younger, Cecil Shorts was the coach. He was the head coach, and then from there, that's when Ginn got the job. But coming up, I always just knew I was going to Glenville. I didn't talk to Ginn until like high school, 9th grade.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about Coach Tone? Because I don't want to leave Tone out because he was a part of that. The culture, the Ville culture as well. Despite despite all the other whatever you want to call it. So like when did you first meet Coach Tone? Same
thing, high school.
Okay.
But once I got into their system, into they was, introduced into my life, it was like I gravitated to them,
Okay.
Tone was a big influence of mine. Ginn was also, one of the, I call him Pops to this day.
Yeah, definitely. Same
here. My father wasn't around coming up. He was around, he was in and out, and I used to, want that father figure, and without me even, having to pretty much ask or like, hey, I need a father. Ginn was right there.
Exactly.
Every emotion that you had, he was there to talk to you. He would sit in your driveway and talk to you for 2 hours, 9 o'clock at night. So I don't know how the man did it because everybody has these same stories. Exactly. 9 o'clock at night, he's in your driveway talking for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, now, how do you have the time, patience, and effort to even do that,
Yeah, he's man, again, he incredible. He did the same with me. Then he ended up, having Bo. Bo he did that for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I had Ginn. Ginn he had come through. Talk to me again. That late night. But then he transferred it over to Bo. You know, so Bo
Yeah.
took that responsibility. You know, just like how it is with the youth support now at Ginn Academy. You know, that I feel like that's where it started. You know, Ginn always had that
That's
blueprint.
exactly where it started. Right,
Yeah,
right. He was the catalyst for that. He was living that, and then created that position out of his own living. So
yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
it was pretty dope. Ginn is super dope, man. He's super dope guy, super influential, and I mean, he'd take the shirt off his back and give it to you.
Right, for sure. Real quick though,
Mm-hmm.
like, so what you graduated '06, right?
Yep,
So
'06.
what would you say out of your years, freshman year to senior year, what was your best year? What would you say was your best year playing at the Ville?
I would say senior year.
Okay.
Um, Freshman year, I didn't play freshman year. I played because I was a late birthday, so I started school early.
Oh yeah, happy
Um,
belated, by the way. You know.
Appreciate it,
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, so I started school early, and I played for the Glenville Titans my freshman year in high school, which nobody was pulling me to play high school ball,
Yeah.
and I ended up getting hurt that year, which I
Okay.
missed the whole season. I broke my shoulder,
Damn.
and
I
then
remember that too.
sophomore year, right? Sophomore year, I come play JV. I didn't start my sophomore year on JV. My best friend Gino was the quarterback at the time, and he ended up getting hurt. So then I stepped into the role as the starting quarterback and ended up throwing like 5 touchdowns the first game or the first half of that first start.
Yeah.
And from there it was like, oh no, this guy is, I mean, he can play this position.
Yeah, for sure.
So from that year, the sophomore year, I took it into my own hands to be like, man, I'm training my butt off this off season because I'm gonna be that guy next year.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know what I mean? For real. So yeah, I would say my senior year though. Junior year I ended up getting hurt, broke a couple of ribs, so I missed some games. I came back late in the season and to the playoff run, and then my senior year was the year I shined.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, because your senior year was my freshman year. So
Right.
yeah, I was on JV, and then I had the opportunity to dress varsity. Me and Trav at the time, we were the only two freshmen, to dress varsity at the time, or at least the first 3 games, those big games. So
Right.
what I want to ask you is, like, what type? Obviously, we play quarterback, so we are already in that leadership role. So
Uh-huh.
when you have a guy like me as a freshman, like, what type of responsibility did you feel that you had, or did you feel like you had like an obligation, like, to get me right, so to speak?
Yeah, of course. Of course. Ginn used to preach that to us, after practice on the knee, he used to preach just looking out or doing your part so that you can set an example for the people that's coming behind you.
Right.
And you being my guy anyway, we grew up together, so you being my guy anyway, I definitely felt that responsibility to show you everything that I learned throughout the process of me going from non-starting to being a starter to, what I mean, just the
Right.
work ethic and just the process of everything that was going on to become a starting quarterback, at least being a starting quarterback at Glenville
Yeah.
or anywhere. You know what I mean? I just felt that responsibility to give you all the knowledge I have.
That's what's up, bro. So I want to ask you this though: did you ever feel any pressure, playing at the Ville? Because the Ville at one point in time, we was big time football at one point in time. So have you ever
Right.
felt any pressure, like just being in that, being the face, for real?
It was, man, because you had guys around you that was special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for you to be the guy that handles the ball every play, of course it was pressure.
I
Of
got
course.
you.
I
Yeah.
mean, and then for us living in the neighborhood, being from the neighborhood, walking down the street from practice, you hear the talks all day, every day. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? You got to do this, you got to do that. You know what I mean? As a 15-year-old starting quarterback, of course, it's pressure on you. You know what
Right.
I mean?
For sure.
As you get older, you learn to deal with it and learn to block it out. But I say that first year start was definitely big pressure.
Yeah, most definitely. So speaking of the talk, around the neighborhood, let's just get into it. Like, what would you say was the best class? The best football class? Because that's always a conversation right there.
right. That's the debate. It's gonna
Yeah.
go on forever. But I respect all classes. I'm gonna give all classes a respect. But if I had to put a best class out there, I would say the '04 team, my junior year.
Okay.
Now my senior year, I'd say was the most talented class that come through the Ville.
Yeah.
We had 13, 14 guys go Division I, 26 signed to a scholarship. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But that junior year team, that 04 team, 04, 05, the senior class 05, that just was a team, bro. Like, from top to bottom, everybody rolled for each other. Somebody go down, the next person is stepping up. You know what I mean? If somebody fighting the alley, it's 30 people right there fighting together. You know what I mean? So that, as a team, I feel like that was the best team to come together.
Okay. So what about your senior year now? Talk about who was the best receiver for you to throw to, because 06, again, it was weapons, big weapons. I mean, I'm a freshman, so I'm looking at y'all like, man, this don't make no sense. Like, you had too many weapons. So, like, you being the quarterback, who was your go-to guy, so to speak?
I can't even say, because at any given play, one of those guys was making an explosive play.
Right.
You know what I mean? You had Devin at the X receiver, which was, you know what I mean, he was known to take the top off the coverage.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
He was a 100 guy, 200 runner. He was known to pop it off. I'm running a go route. I'm throwing it up there. He's going to go find it.
Yeah.
Then you go to the slot where you have Ray Fisher, was just dynamic. He was Reggie Bush before Reggie Bush. No, he was Reggie Bush at the time. He was Reggie Bush of all things.
Yeah, for real.
You know what I mean? It's just special. Anytime you put the ball in his hands, he making 3-4 people miss before, you know what I mean, he even thought about getting touched.
Right.
And then you got Ray Small in the other slot, who was just world-class speed. Right. You know what I mean? This is crazy. World-class speed. At the drop of a hat, he go from 0 to 60 like a cheetah. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And then on the far side at the Z, you got Brian Milligan. Shorthand, route runner, big receiver, catch a ball in traffic, make 3 people miss, shove 4 off of them, go walk in the end zone. Like, so you can't put a best receiver in that class. You could just say, I had weapons.
Right.
I had some weapons to throw to.
So would you say that the 06 class of receivers was the best receiver class?
When I think about it, let me see.
I'm gonna say that.
By far the best receiver class, because if you think about it, the people that didn't start was Royce Adams, who was a Division I guy, played in the Big Ten. Then you had Kyle Jefferson, who played also in the Big Ten. Oh, yeah, that class was – if you want to go best receiver class, that's definitely by far the best receiver class.
It was the starters and the depth, though. Like, it was too many weapons to even – like, one person go down, it really didn't even make a difference. You know, it didn't hurt the team.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Any of those guys can make a play at any moment.
Yeah. That's crazy, though, bro. Like, I used to be watching –
and even in that class, I don't even think all those receivers started defense or had to.
Right,
If they did, they probably – was just that good on both sides, but they probably didn't even have to start defense.
Right, for
sure. That definitely was the best receiver class come out the field. And I know you're gonna have a lot of people argue that, because there was some classes before us that was pretty good. Like, can't think of the names off the top of Charles and a couple guys like Ted played receiver on when Troy was the quarterback.
Yeah,
where he had weapons. So I mean, they would say that, but overall, that was the best receiver group.
But this is what I want. I want that debate amongst the Ville, the Ville alumni, because it's always going to be that. And this is why I wanted to make that that Ville edition. We get to reminisce about that high school, because I mean, we live in the present. We plan for the future, but it's always good to reminisce about the Ville days. At the end of the day, it's always good.
And this debate went on social media. I probably say a couple months back, and it was a crazy debate. I think Jamel Hines started it, and the debate just went crazy.
Yeah,
I got in late. I got in probably like 10 hours late, and I probably was 700 comments down. I'm like, I'm gonna leave this alone.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, talk to me about the killer quarterback drill. You remember that drill, killer quarterback?
Man, come on. That might be the worst drill in history of sports, for real.
Bro.
Like, it didn't make sense.
Bro, did you – I don't know if you remember, but, like, did you remember, like, the first time I did the drill, bro? Because, like, I was introduced to the drill, my freshman year. I saw that you and Mel, y'all doing the drill. You got tweet at DN, Mel at DN. And that what I'm like 130 pounds, bruh. Talk to me
So
about
the
that drill.
drill is
Yeah, tell the listeners about that drill.
is you as a quarterback, they trying to prepare you to be able to throw the ball and take a hit at the same time.
Right.
So they have you in a shotgun, somebody snapping you the ball in a free defensive end or blitz guy off the edge. You have to take a drop 3 or 5 steps. The coach will send the guy off the edge, and you have to make the throw as he hits you full speed. Man, it didn't make no sense. But back then, you couldn't tell me that wasn't preparing me for game time situations.
Right, right.
As I look at it now, I would never put my quarterback through that. But as I look at it now, it built so much toughness in me.
Yeah, for
going
sure.
through that drill almost daily. I don't know if we did it daily. I can't remember, but we did it often enough to be like,
yeah,
this real. You feel me?
Yeah.
But I remember in games making throws where I didn't even see the throw.
Right.
I would just hear the touchdown, hear the roar from the crowd,
exactly.
Look up and be like, that's the drill. The
yeah.
drill prepared me for this moment.
I ain't gonna lie,
for real.
Bro. I was shook from that drill, bro. I ain't even.
That's a tough drill coming in.
I was too young, bro. Yeah, I was too young for that drill.
Yeah, it's a tough drill coming from because you taking the same punishment that I'm taking. They're not letting up. They're not bringing younger guys, JV guys in to do it. You know what I mean? You're taking the same. You're talking Ohio State and Iowa, University of Iowa type athlete coming off the edge.
It was crazy, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That was crazy. Definitely prepared me, though. Definitely prepared me because a lot of times, even, I remember in college, I would lay the blow on defenders before they even get to me.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, same here.
And I want to give that drill the credit.
Okay.
Shout out to Coach Jarvis.
Yeah. Shout out to Coach Jarvis for sure.
For that crazy goddamn drill.
Yeah, man. That dude had to do the killer quarterback drill, bear crawl up that hill.
Yeah.
I ain't know what I was
duck
getting myself
walks,
in. Duck walks. And then I'm watching you all the way, you like 20 yards ahead of me. So I'm like, wait, sorry, because you about to be done. And I still got to go. You know what I mean?
I still got 50 yards.
That used to blow me, bro.
One thing about Coach Jarvis, man, he prepared us mentally to be tough.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Physically, if you threw an interception or you fumbled the ball in the game, you had some type of punishment, physical punishment during the week or that next practice.
Right.
And it built men. It made us into men.
Definitely. But real quick, I want to ask you like two more questions. What would you say your best skill set as a leader? Like what was your that the best skill set as being a leader?
Mm-hmm. I would say leading by example. I was never the guy that cuss you out.
Mm-hmm.
Just naturally, I'm a people's person, communicator. Just see things for what they is. So just leading by example was, I would say, my best skill set as a leader.
Okay.
I would work hard. I would be first in sprints, even though I wasn't the fastest, wasn't the most athletic. I was racing against guys that's 4.3, 4.2 type guys, and I'm beating them in sprint. I'm beating them in sprints just for the simple fact that I'm in that position, I'm in that leadership role, and I want everybody to work as hard as me, fight as much as I'm gonna fight. So I always led by example, no matter what.
I got you. And what also, just to add to that question, like, what keeps you motivated? Because now, like, I know you personally, bro. Like, you still, up and at it, on the workout sides. I remember, when I was still living in Cleveland, we'd get up 5 a.m., 6 a.m. workouts. So, like, what keeps you at it and motivated like that?
I want to say football just prepared me for that type. A lot for just life, period.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Being an athlete, you had to wake up at 5 a.m. sometimes to work out just to get that workout in because you got a whole workload throughout the day. So I want to say football just prepared me for that aspect of life. And then once you start to do that every day and that becomes your routine, it's hard to not do that. You feel me?
Exactly.
It's hard. You feel unnormal. You feel like you're not being you if you're not doing that type of stuff. So I want to say just give that shout out to football in general to prepare me for life in that aspect.
I got you. And one last question: what impact that has Coach Ginn, put on you? Like, so, or I should say it this way: like, what's the most memorable moment that you have from Coach Ginn? It can be funny, serious, anything. Like, what's the most memorable, moment that you took away from Coach Gann?
That's tough. That's tough because there's so many. There's so many.
Yeah.
But I would say, there's so many. There's so many. But I would say the funniest moment to me is him actually like smacking me in game. Like, so we paint the picture a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, we're in a playoff game. We playing. It's my junior year. We playing a powerhouse, which is St. Ed's High School.
Okay.
They're a powerhouse in Ohio. They won the championships for years, before we even came about.
Mm-hmm.
And we in the middle of the game. I want to say second quarter. Stadium packed out. You know what I mean? You know how our games used to look.
Yeah.
Stadium packed out. And I think I had just made 2 mistakes in a row.
Okay.
I can't even remember the play, but I just remember 2 mistakes in a row. And he, come here, man. So I'm running to the sideline. And before I even he get a word out, he open hand smacked me in my helmet. Oh, what you doing, man? So listen, bro,
I can imagine him doing
all
that
I
now,
can
bro.
do is, but listen, my mother, I just told you, the stadium is packed out. I hear my mother stand up and say, "You ain't had to hit him like."
I can hear Mom Duke saying that too. That's funny.
Oh man, I'm running back to the huddle laugh. I can't even be mad. Like, I'm literally running back to the huddle laughing. Like, they really just smacked me in front of. There's got to be 15,000 people here.
Right.
They really just open hands.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I still remember that moment to this day, bro. But it's so many. It's so many funny, real moments, inspirational moments. Moments where you feel down and out, and he right there to pick you up as an adult. You might be down and out as an adult. You pick that phone up, you might see Coach Gann calling you and come here, man. I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
And then just brighten your whole mood about life. So,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so Gann definitely, man, there's a big influence in my life to this day. I still call him and check on him. You know what I mean? I was at the school for a couple of years, so we built an even tighter relationship as the dog.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what's up, man. But I appreciate you, man, spending this time with me. Also, again, man, I want to have you again, when we start our season, the first season of MVP. I want to have you on the show, talk about, your football journey, from we get a little bit briefly back into the high school to college, to Iowa, to Texas Southern, the whole nine. I want to get to that.
The whole spiel, yeah.
Yeah, the whole spiel. I want to get your insight, about what the American football culture means to you, everything. We going to get into it for sure, bro. For sure, bro. Appreciate you having me on, man. I can't wait till the next time. Yeah. Can't wait. Most definitely, bro. We'll be in touch, though, for sure, bro. My boy. All right, bro. I'll talk to you later. Love. Good, yeah. Good, yeah. Life going from good to great. Out here making plays in the